if you could just share with us how this play, this remarkable play, how it impacted your career, helped launch your career, and how it impacted you personally as well.
Well, really quick. Am I on? Okay, really quickly. First of all, congratulations. You guys were amazing. Amazing. Congratulations. It was so fun to listen to this. It was like deja vu. I could remember the lines. They didn't ask. No, but when I first moved to New York, very quickly, when I first moved to New York, I was staying in a friend's apartment while I was looking for a place to rent. And so I was looking in the trades for things to audition for, and I often based my choice of auditions on whether or not I thought I could find it. And I was staying on the Upper West Side, and I saw this post about an audition, and I had all these great women's parts, and I thought, and that's on West 72nd. I think I can find that one. So I went to this woman's apartment, Harriet Leiter, and Harriet was a character. She was a cabaret singer. She was a force of nature. Anyway, she cast me in a Jane Chambers play, but it was not this one. It was called A Late Snow. And so we started rehearsing, and we were a week or two into rehearsals, and Harriet got a phone call from Jane Chambers' partner and manager, who said, "Excuse me, who are you, and why are you doing my client's play?" She didn't even know she had to get permission to do the play. So she said, "No, you cannot do that play. We did that a couple of years ago. I don't want another production done." She said, "But I'll tell you what." She said, "Jane has a play that's been sitting in a drawer for years called Last Summer at Bluefish Cove. It's never been done. It's never even been read out loud. If you want to do that one, you can have that one." So she recast us in Bluefish Cove, and I got my first agent out of it when I was in New York, and my first Broadway play, and then when I came out to LA, Judy decided to mount the play. She found out I had moved to LA, and so we did it. Yeah.
Jean, did you come out to Los Angeles from New York specifically to do this play?
Oh no, I had no idea. I didn't know Judy, and I came out to do a TV series.
I see.
Yeah. A TV series, and I just stayed. So.
I have a question for Lee. Lee, when you first read this script, can you remember how you responded to it? What your feelings about the play were?
Hated it. No.
What? What?
No, but it's so funny that Jean just said that, because I did A Late Snow, where I played the main character for 5 months. We started rehearsal for Bluefish Cove. I know. I didn't know you'd done that either. But we did it for 5 months. We started rehearsing this play while I was still doing the other play 4 nights a week at the Fringe Theater, the one that was like in a storefront. It wasn't even like a. I don't remember the guy's name. Prince. Prince was the name, and his father King. But we did. And then we started rehearsing this play, which we did for 17 months. So I was on stage for 22 months, which is how my career began, seriously. And, my lifelong friendship with this person, right here, because we sat next to each other in a dressing room the size of these 2 chairs with 8 of us. I mean, I'm not kidding you. It was right here at the fountain. It was insane.
The dressing rooms are still about
that size. There were only seats for 5. 3 of us stood the whole time.
Some things never change.
Right. It's exactly what it was. And so for me, my journey with this play was, not only did I play Ray, and Nora Heflin played my Annie, but I understudied Jean, who was so busy doing 97 different series that I basically got to go on as Lil every Friday night. And that's how my career began. Because there would be all these casting directors who would come to see Jean, and she wouldn't be there.
All right.
And I'd go out and give them $50 each, and then they'd stay and see me. And then I went to San Francisco with the play, so we went equity. Nora went with me. I think it was me, Nora. Who else from I don't remember who. I think it was just me and Camilla. We went up to San Francisco. Jean
Susan
didn't
Sullivan
go.
did it, right?
Susan Sullivan played
Right.
Lil, and then I was still the understudy up there. And then Lee Merriweather played. Miss America came in and played Lil. That was fun. It's not
How
everybody
bad could that
who
be?
gets to say they hung out with. But yeah, anyway. And then I came back in the production with Margot, and I played Dr. Kitty. So I got to do the full gamut of the roles in this play. And I mean, this changed this play. This play changed my life in so many ways. I mean, literally, lifelong friendships and a career that began, and just, there's so much. I mean, it felt like so cutting edge theater then. It's kind of more of a Hallmark card now, but a really good Hallmark card, after you've had the L word and everything else. But it's so, I was really coming here expecting to really hate you and just,
Well, I'm sorry that we disappointed you.
Not hoping, thinking I would, but it was magnificent. I mean, really magnificent. And so kudos to all of you.
Just one real quick thing while I'm thinking of it.
Please, yeah.
Everyone assumed, which is understandable, that Jane Chambers wrote this play because she knew she was dying. But that was not the case. It was just purely coincidental that she died young of cancer like Lil did. She was in her kitchen one day, a heavy cast iron skillet fell on her head, so she went to get an MRI and they found a brain tumor. And
Wow.
that was unfortunately why she died so young.
Shannon, I have a question. The gorgeous Shannon Krisker.
Thank you.
One of the things that is also so striking about the play and important about the play is that this was the first major play written by a lesbian playwright that featured 8 queer women on stage that were fully dimensional, real human beings that loved, that bickered, and I think opened the eyes and hearts and minds for mainstream audiences. I think for the first time, it was really revolutionary. And so the thing that strikes me about it is that it is of its time, but it also is timeless. I think because it really is about love, and it's about friendship and family, and those things are eternal, are timeless. But Shannon, if you could just speak about appearing on stage in this play at that time, what was that like?
In that bathing suit.
In that bathing suit. That's right. How many times will you hit on after the show?
I loved it. I had so much fun, and you were so wonderful. I forgot how much fun it was to play Donna.
Stephanie Party.
So much fun. So much fun. Yeah, yeah. And to me, after doing it, it wasn't about women that were gay. It was just about these wonderful women and love and relationships. And there was just such an acceptance. And getting to work with this incredible group of women, it was just incredible. And you would think back in the 80s, everyone would have a different thought process, than today. But before the show, I was able to talk to one of the ladies that was in one of the other productions. And I was saying, gosh, it was just, in the 80s, I said, I still remember, because it just broke my heart when my dad first came and saw the show. And I remember the only thing he really said to me was, how long did it take you to get into character? And I remember just being so hurt. And one of the ladies I was talking to, and she said, no, I just did this show recently, and my parents wouldn't come.
Really?
And it just kind of made, I was hoping we have come so much further. And maybe it's that generation. But doing this show was such an incredible privilege in so many ways of looking in depth to other relationships and accepting people for who they are and just relishing in that, because it was a different time.
Yeah.
You know, and I loved it. I mean, I would, you know, running around on the stage in bathing suits and all kinds of fun things that we did, and you know, and we did it for so long.
Yeah.
You know, we have stories, like I remember inside, I think it was this theater, when we had that huge rains in the 80s, things were flooding, and you were sitting on the beach scene. It was supposed to be the beach scene, and then we had leaks, and there was water leaking right on your chair, you know, and things like that. I mean, it was just some of the best. I mean, this has been so wonderful to be asked to come tonight, because it brought back like a time machine, all the wonderful fun things we did.
I guess we have something similar here when, you know, when we're talking about how beautiful it is to be here on Bluefish Cove, and a helicopter is, you know, flying by, or a police siren, you know, drives by. Diane, you were nodding your head about family reaction or reactions of people.
Oh, well, when it comes to my family, they just will accept almost anything. So there you go. But the one thing that I loved when I just came back from New York, and I got a chance to go and read the play. And I thought, oh, I really want to do this because, well, one thing, I'm really selfish. I really love to work.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I loved about this production was, as Shannon said, working with the women. They were you know, I mean, that was the 80s too. So, I mean, we just worked so well together. And I felt, which is always not you know, I just felt so welcome.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to do the work. And people did, you know, we had talkbacks and whatnot.
Right.
And my cousin came, and he kind of found himself, I think. So yeah.
Found himself.
And you know, it was just, I am so grateful. I will just say this: I am so grateful for this experience because it was such a wonderful experience, and I love tonight. You know, but there is a difference with doing it in the 80s and then doing it in what is it, 2000 whatever. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There was, at least from my point of view, as I was sitting at, you know, in the stage, and there was like they're a little fiercer.
Yeah.
And a little bit more at home. You know, and I loved it because they were fierce. Up there.
Yeah.
Guys.
All right. Nancy, you were.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just keep the.
Talking about the feeling of sisterhood in the company and how close you all became throughout this long run. I mean, I've noticed the same thing has happened with our ensemble. There's something about this play, I think, and just the experience of 8 women together, artists working together, finding a common language that is really kind of remarkable and creates a bond. Did you experience that?
Yeah, and I want to be very clear. I was not an original cast member in this, so I'm kind of the imposter on the panel.
What?
I did go into the show and played Annie. But then when Margot did the show, and I played Ray for a while when Margot was Lil. I happened to come see the show with the woman who played, with a mutual friend of the woman who played Eva in the show, Sandra Marshall, who couldn't be here tonight.
Right.
She's ill. And I met Sandy that night in the Fountain Theater, and she's still one of my closest friends some 40 years later. So yeah, I just wanted to say my favorite thing when I saw the show was it was a love story that just happened to have gay women in it. There was a meet cute that was different. What kept the people apart was different, and that's what I kind of loved about it. But I mean, this was a very welcoming group of gals when you come in as a replacement, as an
So
understudy.
you got to step into a hit show.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God it was a hit. But coincidentally, I was still going back and forth between Chicago and here, which is where I was from. And I actually got my first LA agent, and I went on for 2 weeks or something for Nora, 2 or 3 weeks, and got some people here, and that's how I got my first agent. in
Oh,
LA.
wonderful.
But now let's pass it to a real cast member.
Yes.
I don't know how long, if you guys have an open-ended run, but with, the play that it basically went on well over 2.5 years.
Yes.
We had endless numbers of understudies, and it was just Nancy was the best, absolutely. But that was a lot. I mean, that was a lot of fun too, because you build your tribe. You find your tribe of your fellow. Definitely actors are part of the tribe, and we had amazing talent come in, and it was a gift.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Stephanie Rula. My friend Stephanie Rula, who is still my good buddy, who played Sue in the original New York production. I said, please write something I can read, and she wrote, the whole experience of being cast in last summer at Bluefish Cove was definitely a magical time. Auditions were held in a small one-bedroom apartment on West 72nd Street. As I recall, the first night we opened in February 1980, there was a snowstorm, but the audience came anyway to a very small 60-seat theater on the Lower West Side, and it sold out almost every night because the audiences seemed so hungry for this kind of theater.
This was really a life-changing experience for me, and this is how I got into this, which is backward. I was not the original producer to be. I lived in Santa Monica, and a lesbian chiropractor said, come over, there's a new bar opening in Silver Lake, and we'll meet you at this new bar. And so I went, and there was nobody in the bar. But there was this group of women outside, all tall, beautiful Amazons, standing in a circle. Oh my God, I thought, I'm in heaven. And I didn't know any lesbians here. I was from North Florida, and I thought, okay, well, I'm just going for this. And I went up to 2 of them and put my arms on the side. I said, would you be my bookends? And they looked down at me, and they said, well, yes. And the group, this circle, had just come from, I think, the opening night or one of the original nights of A Late Snow. And you were in that group. And they were beautiful. And they were tall. And so I talked to them, and they invited me. They said, well, you should go see A Late Snow. Okay. So I went to this little theater, and I saw it, and you were in it. And it was, I was in shock. I had never seen my life portrayed on a stage like this. And so then, and Lee took me in and was friendly. And then, months later, I got a call. And some people called me, and you and a few people come up to Camilla's house. The cast is...
I was working for you. I was your assistant.
You were?
Yes.
Okay.
I was your employee.
Okay. Well, I guess you had good taste. I thought that was after, but I don't remember. The memory goes when you're my age.
That's right.
Okay? It happens. And so there we were, and they said, okay, we fired the producer because she lied to us. They had a director, Hilary Mosierice, and the cast, 7 women, and there was no Lil. And we were in this wonderful home of Camilla Carr, who played Dr. Kitty. And I never thought anybody could play Dr. Kitty as well. Well, you did it. It was really, really great.
Thank you.
And Camilla
Sarah
couldn't
Scott
be here.
Davis.
Yeah, you're really amazing. Everybody, I've seen so many productions in different casts, and everybody does the different parts differently. Everybody. And some you go, I wouldn't make that choice. This group, every choice you made was different, but fantastic. Not a weak link. I'm really surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm like, pleased, and surprised.
And
But
a shout
anyway,
out needs to go to our director, Heather.
oh, she's
Heather
amazing.
Wolf.
Yeah, this is really well done.
So go ahead, Judy.
So they said, we're in Camilla's house, and they said, would you produce it? I said, well, maybe I ought to read it first. And so I took a day and read it.
So fussy. So fussy.
I know,
I know.
demanding. I know.
So I read it, and I said, yeah, I've not produced. Certainly I'm in LA, and I'm just hanging out here like a bum. Okay. And here we did. I said, okay. And then, Jean, you were coming to town, or you hadn't been to town, or you'd been back and forth, and somebody said, call Jean Smart. She did it in New York, and it was amazing. And we met, and I said, would you do it? And she said, of course. It took it from one level to another level when Jean signed on. And every night, every one of the cast members gave everything. And so it changed my life. I saw the play, but what I saw more that really affected me was at night I would watch the audience in the 78 seats originally. And I would just, it was packed. I'd watch the women and the gays and lesbians and actresses and Buddy Hackett and all of these people, comedians, all of them. Jan, that's right.
Yeah.
No, I'd watch them in
Boy,
the
a lot
audience.
of actors did come through the company, didn't they? Yeah.
But I watched them all in the audience, the faces of these women.
Yeah.
And I could see how they were affected by this. And I said, we're doing good stuff. We're doing good stuff by making this happen. And it ran.
It ran for 2 years. So I want to thank you, Judy. I want to turn it over to the audience here. Does anyone have a question or a comment for either our original company members or the current company?
Several of you have alluded to the reaction of your families. And did any of you, were any of you concerned? You've all said it had a wonderful impact on your careers, but were you concerned about the potential for a negative impact, given the climate?
Were any of you concerned about your careers, given the nature of the play or the political climate of the time? Did anyone experience that or get, or were any of you
Never,
advised
never even
not
thought
to
about
do the
it.
play?
No, not at all.
But I'll tell you one thing. Since this was 82, 83, 84, you know, I would remember to tell like friends and go, okay, now remember, there's going to be 2 women kissing, okay? Brace yourself. And then I would forget that person's mother had just died of cancer 2 weeks earlier, and I'd forgotten to tell them about the cancer part. And I'd go, oh. I kept doing that over and over, telling the wrong person what to watch out for.
As groundbreaking as this show was in '83, in the '80s it was a very difficult time politically. To be gay, you know, here we are, 40 years later, facing these same things.
Exactly.
Women's right to choose.
Right.
LGBTQ rights are under threat.
Absolutely.
And you all are living here in California, which is la-la land for how it is out in the red states. I've lived in 3 red states before California or since California, and it's not pretty out there. And this show was really groundbreaking. And how far have we come, and how many picket signs do we have to pick up for the things? So you should be really proud of having done this. It was courageous for this cast to do this. It was courageous, even though you say, well, but I'll get to act. It was a big deal for you to put yourselves out there like that, because every industry executive came, lots of people came to see it, and here they were. And so I think we were past where it would hurt their careers, but where we are now is the same fight.
Yeah. Yeah. It was only to look back at this historic production that happened 40 years ago, but to remind ourselves how different it was, and how little has changed, and how we face the same challenges today as we did then.
I have a comment. I just wanted to thank you guys for doing this, because you probably, even back then, you probably like touched so many hearts when you like did this play, and when people see you succeed with this, it must inspire them. And I just want to say like thank you for doing this, because what you're doing is really powerful and really cool and inspiring. So thank you.
And how old are you?
I'm 12.
12.
Ladies, I came 40 years ago, married through a turmoil of my life with my best friend of 40 years, and she brought me to this play. 2-3 years later, I came out, fell in love, and I fell in love with you. The character was amazing. You ladies were amazing. I came back again. I brought another friend to see you, and I thought, I fell in love with this play. I'm like, when is it coming back? When? I want to see it again and again. And I had to wait 40 years. Here I am. And I brought my sisters, and 2 other friends came. And this was an impact in my life, coming out, being a lesbian, hiding from your family, not sharing who you love. I went through all that difficult times, and it just became a stronger woman. And you guys helped me make it that step with this play. I just wanted to let you know that it was a real big impact in my life. And Jane, love you, love you, love you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
Hi, for you guys, what was the casting process when you guys went in to do this, and what inspired you to do this play?
Yeah, director. And Steven, probably. Hannah.
Hannah. Come on. Can't hide the back forever,
The casting process? Hey y'all, I'm Hannah Wolf, the director of this production. They make my job easy. Our casting, so the Fountain contacted me to see if I would do the play, and I had never heard of it, so they should take away my theater lesbian card. And then we went through a round of auditions where we were really trying to pull in the right people. You know, we went through a pretty lengthy casting process. I think 1,000 women submitted. And we went through all of them to see who we could find the right folks. It took quite a bit of time. I think we cast Tamika like 3 days before we started rehearsals. But we...
And then was working in Long Beach and then driving up, rehearsing here. So. That must have been fun. Yeah, actually it was.
And the play was fabulous. We all went. We all supported her. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it took some time, but we found the right people. And yeah, they're doing such great work. And it's so lovely to see them be part of this legacy of Bluefish Cove.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you so much. It's been a joy working with you.
I just wanted to say,
please.
You just reminded me when I got the part of Lil, I was playing Lady Mac in Pittsburgh at the Pittsburgh Public Theater, and I didn't want to give that up, but I thought, well, yeah, you didn't come to New York to do a play in Pittsburgh, so, and I wanted to do Bluefish Cove, so they let me do both, so I would go and do the Scottish play for 3 days, and I would fly to Newark, get on a subway, get to the theater just in time to do Bluefish Cove for 2 or 3 days. Then I'd go back to Pittsburgh and do the Scottish play. And then, and you can only do that when you're 28 years old. So it was like, it was fabulous. Fabulous.
So the question is, how did you meet Jane Chambers?
Me? Well, she was at every rehearsal. When we got cast in the play
in New York.
Yeah, in New York. She was at every rehearsal. She took us out to the beach where she'd kind of based the story on, and so she was there. She was a constant part of the whole process.
Yeah, Beth came out.
So. Beth was her manager.
Beth was Jane's partner for decades.
Should I tell the story?
Tell it. Tell it. Uh-oh. Jean yanked the microphone away.
I don't know if you did it. I can't remember. But we had made a couple of, how shall we say, judicial cuts because there were a couple things that we felt were just really too long. We didn't change any meaning or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then Beth was coming to see the play. Do you remember this? And we were all backstage going, oh God, do we add it back in? What do we do? She's going to know. Oh Christ, And we went back and forth because we really, we just, no, we did it exactly like we've been doing it. And as far as we know, she never noticed a thing. We just kept our little cuts in there. So, you didn't say, Donna did not say, you didn't say when she said you've been married, you didn't say to a man?
That was not in our script.
That's not in the script?
Yeah.
You cut it? That was one of the big laugh lines when we did it.
Lee must have cut it.
No, no I didn't. But it's a great moment when she says, Eva's been married for 12 years, and the penny finally drops for Donna, and she goes, to a man? It's very funny.
Maybe I'll sneak it in.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
I get you.
That was very fun.
To a man?
I do remember one night my friend Jimmy, who used to take care of me when I first moved to New York, he was always cooking for me and taking me places, and very handsome gay man with a very straight public persona, but not so much in private. But he would walk me to the theater every night, and it was always, at first, it was just women who came to the show, and pretty soon we got a mainstream audience. But for weeks and weeks and weeks, it was just gay women who were coming to see it 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And so there'd always be a lot of women outside waiting to buy tickets when he would walk me to the theater. And he would grab me and kiss me in front of them so that he said, because he was trying to find me a boyfriend. So he'd say, we've got to, no, this is, no, I've got. And I would try not to just burst out laughing, but he would give me a big kiss and have a good show, sweetie. Like,
And when we were doing it back then, because we were hoping, people thought we were going to maybe make a movie out of it, and so this was the time in the 80s. So it was literally every star in Hollywood and her people were coming to see this show. We had like Shirley MacLaine, Jane Fonda, Maggie Smith, Cher, Goldie Hawn. I mean, just every night you look out in the audience like, oh, who's here tonight? Oh, there's another superstar, whatever. But no, but it was Mary Tyler Moore. Yeah.
And we were picking out through the curtains who was there. But I remember, and I thought, well, Shirley MacLaine is Sue.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would peek out in the curtains to see who was there for our parts in the movie.
Who was coming after you, your role?
I don't know. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's who would. It was fun.
no, it's true. Shirley MacLaine, I ran into her in the bathroom. She was just she and I in the bathroom. And, of course, she'd come to see the part of Lil, of course. And I made the stupid mistake, and I was so dumb and naive, of looking at her and going, because, she was nice. She was complimentary, not super friendly. But I stupidly said, oh, my God, you would be so great as Dr. Kitty. She looked daggers at me. I thought, good. Shoot.
And I have to say one more. The night, why do I keep forgetting? Maggie Smith and
Roddy McDowell.
Okay, Maggie Smith and Roddy McDowell came, and they didn't stay after. And everybody, all of us were just so crushed. I mean, it was like devastating. Do you even know who they are? Okay. I just was talking to some people in their 20s who had no idea who Rock Hudson is. It was like, Anyway, so I was like, oh God, if I don't do, oh! And so I ran out of the theater and I ran up and they were getting in the car and I was like, hi. And they're like, oh, hello, lovely work, how are you? And I said, we were really hoping you might, oh, we didn't know where to go. And they came toddling back and they were so nice and then. And then Roddy sent Jean, he was a photographer, or he sent you a beautiful picture of what?
I don't remember.
All right. She was very thrilled with it at the time, but it's all forgotten now.
Shirley MacLaine's story.
Yes.
She had seen Bluefish Cove just when she was up for Best Actress for the Jack Nicholson picture.
Terms of Endearment.
Yes. And so she
that
had
movie, yeah.
Camilla and Edward Anhalt and me go out to the beach, her beach house, and she wanted to be Lil, and she wanted to do Bluefish Cove. So and she was all about it, and her agent was going to call us Monday, and I think she just won the Academy Award. Perhaps. And, yes, she was not right for the part, but we took every meeting we could.
Yeah.
Of
course.
It doesn't matter.
Spoken like a producer.
Yeah. And so she was, so hot for it, and she fixed us lunch on her Malibu, deck, and it was all a big deal. And she was on my answering machine. I saved it. It's Shirley. Hi, Judy. It's Shirley. What are you going to do? I saved it forever. Anybody. And so Monday, we called. We were supposed to meet with her people, and they ghosted us. They just completely ghosted us. I don't know what happened over. Probably. Yeah, because you are not Dr. Kitty. No, you are Lil. Anyway, so. Oh, you said it. Oh, I thought she said it to you. Oh, no wonder. No, she should have been Sue. And that's why I think I said that at lunch, and she's.
Jean?
We can do this for days.
I know, I feel like, I feel like there's a new play happening here, years later. Jean, you want to talk about this picture?
Okay,
photograph?
this is a picture that, thank God, my assistant found it in my basement today because I thought it would be fun to bring. Yay, Izzy! And it was one of the pictures we took at the beach for fun to advertise the show. And so I thought it'd be fun, Stephen agreed, that we should auction it off and we'll sign it. And we will auction it off along with this script. We'll sign the script. And we're so young in that picture. Yeah.
Can you identify who's in the picture?
I'm in the middle. Sue, Donna. Who was that?
Oh, that was
Camilla Carr, of course, Jean, Sandy. Look at Lee.
And there's
Nora. You didn't go to click through enough. I bought like 5 of them on Amazon for like $40 each.
my script.
That's your script.
So we're going to have our original cast members sign it, and great.
The only thing about the script, which we're also going to auction off if anybody's interested, is that unfortunately, I don't know why this publishing company was a little bit lame, because they only have the New York productions listed in here, but they do have a couple photos from our production.
Uh-huh.
But
This is Los
that's
Angeles.
all of us. This is LA. This picture on the front is New York. Me and Carolyn Cove, who played Eva.
So we'll have the actresses sign this, and we'll place it up for auction, and we also will have a signed
So we need a
as well.
Sharpie.
I've got them right
and
here.
And a regular pen.
I've got that
maybe
right
for
here.
this.
I've got it.
Sure.
Okay. I guess that's it for this. I just want to thank everybody so much for being here. What a special evening this is. Something that I'm going to remember always, an unforgettable night. And thank you so much for being here this evening. And spread the word. This production runs through the end of August. And maybe for 2 years, beyond that. So spread the word. Okay, good night, everybody. Thank you very much.